We were in a um, landing zone area where they had a bar and stuff like that. And when they went to, because they were getting a 3-day rest, and they wanted to go in the bar, but it was loaded with people. So the way he got a seat at the bar, he took a fake hand grenade and he rolled it across the floor. And all the guys saw it, and they all ran out the door. And he says, "Well, now we can sit down." But he's kind of a funny guy, this guy Phil. And I thought that was one of the funniest stories I ever heard.
It's not funny. It's funny. We actually laugh about things now that we did. Was we were going out on ambush, and we were on these train tracks. Big curve. The American soldier isn't the quietest person in the jungle, I'll tell you that. Not for talking, but we ain't quiet. So somebody had heard something on the radio, and what was happening was the railroad tracks are like this. Here we are going to our ambush site, recon's going to their ambush site, and they weren't supposed to be there. And if it wasn't for some yakking, we would have ran into each other in the pitch black and ended up shooting each other. That wouldn't have been good,
Got over there. We got to the Philippines. And by that time I was getting tired of the food on the ship. Well, so they had a burger on Clark Base. They had a burger restaurant or something like a McDonald's type thing. And I went over there with the rest of the guys to get a burger. And after I ate it tasted funny. I says, "Jesus, how come this tastes so funny? This is monkey meat over here." I said, I never ate a thing overseas ever again. I never ate. I ate on the ship all the time. I never ate a thing the whole time I was in Vietnam.
On April 10th, we lost 4 of our guys got killed. 8 of them got wounded. And on, I believe that they were VC. I don't think they were North Vietnamese soldiers. But we killed four of them. So they lost 4, we lost 4. The only good thing, if you want to call it a good thing, is my platoon sergeant, my platoon leader, and myself, we send money back to Vietnam every year to their families, to help them. So that's how we feel about the people,
This Vietnamese guy owned a store. I used to live on Vernon Hill. He had this store up there, and I used to go in there and buy my when I smoked cigarettes. Girl was kind of drugged out trying to steal stuff, so I grabbed this stuff. I said, "Hey, leave the guy alone." Blah blah blah. So then he got caught selling cigarettes, and I used to work for the health department. So he was nervous. He says, "I'm gonna go." His name was Viet Boy. I said, "Viet, I'll take care of it for you. Don't worry. You're hard working." So anyways, he moves away. He was going to get a job in the Carolinas in a shop, and he came back and calls me up. He says, "Phil." I says, "Yeah, what are you doing back?" He says, "Well, that job fell through, so I'm back here." And I says, "Oh." He says, "Just want to let you know that he named his son after me. His son's name is Philip Boy." I said, "What are you, Jesus." So I just talked to him the other day. He graduated from WPI in 2.5 years.
Wow.
And the kids are, yeah. And so I got no animosity to the Vietnamese people. They're hard-working people,
I wrote a book
You did?
on Vietnam, and it's very interesting because somebody your age asked me about my book once, and they said, Vietnam, isn't that part of Korea? People don't know it. It's going by the wayside. People don't know what Vietnam is. And they don't know Vietnam was the last hard war. And not that in the wars that since Vietnam, people have got killed, hurt, maimed, been very bad. But we had no computers, no contact, no cell phones. Our meals, we always kidded, were sea rations. They come in a little can, and they come in a box. There's 3 or 4 cans, and that's your meal. And you had a little can opener, and you'd open up. But we always kidded that's what they ate. The same thing that they ate in World War II as they ate in Korea, as we were eating. And we'd open up the can, and you could heat it up if you were lucky. You had a fire, but it was very. Vietnam was the last antiquated war because we didn't have the contact or the smart bombs and things like that. So we were laying in a ditch, and that's where you stayed. You couldn't pick up your cell phone or talk to anybody or anything like that. You left the world behind you. That's why we used to call, they say, when you're going back to the world, meant when you're going back home, because you were stuck there. The sea rations were good. They were adequate. They weren't really good, but they were adequate. Everything came out of a can, and they always had Tabasco sauce, a little jug of Tabasco sauce. And they said if you like Tabasco sauce, you can make anything taste good. Well, I didn't like Tabasco sauce, but and they had salt and pepper, and a couple of pieces of toilet paper, and hydrated crackers, very dry. They could be 10 years old. You open up the tin foil and you eat them, and you open up the can, and you'd have beans or franks or ham and eggs, all dehydrated. But they were pretty good. I mean, they lasted. They served the purpose. And a lot of people don't know, civilians especially. I think they probably don't know if they have it anymore. In our canteens, we could take out our canteen, and in the package, the pouch where our canteen was, there was a cup. You could pull the cup out, and they had a handle you could unfold. And if you're lucky enough to have a fire, you could heat the water and put chocolate into the water and have a chocolate drink and stuff like that. But a lot of people, I don't even know if they still have canteen cups or not in the service. Everything's changed. Our helmets were 2-layered. We have a metal outer cover. We could take that off, and you could turn it upside down. You could heat it. You could pour some soup in there and heat it, or you could wash it out. You could wash your feet in it, or your hands. You could wash up, and then when you're done, you put it back on. And there was a liner looked just like a helmet that you wore, and the steel part come off. Things like that. I don't know if they can do that with the new helmets or not. I mean, everything's changed. They have meals ready to eat now. They have heating packs and things like that, which doesn't mean the task at hand isn't any easier. It's just more pleasant, probably.
Christmas over there was different. We actually did get real food at Christmas time, and we made a little tree, and we used to hang cans of sea rations on it and stuff like that. But they had sent out, real food, and they actually sent us out ice cream, right? Not realizing that by the time they got it to us, it was like soup, so I don't know. I wouldn't actually call it ice cream, but, because you had to drink it. But we didn't get many hot meals, Every so often they'd send us, I probably had maybe Thanksgiving, Christmas, maybe 1 or 2 other times. Most of the time we're eating canned food the whole time, in the infantry anyway. Yeah. I actually got to like canned food.
But I will say this, and I every group I talk to, obviously in our schools today we have a lot of diversity. I was a minority in my squad. There's only 2 white guys. We had, my sergeant was African American. Now I call the Hawaiians minorities. We had 2 Hawaiian guys. The rest were Puerto Rican guys. There was only me and this other guy, Roy. So we were a minority, but what I try to instill with the talks, we were a very tight group. So we ate together, we slept together, not literally. We worked together when whatever our squad had to do, and if we ran into any, we used to call it, if you run into the shit, we were together. No matter who you were, you watched my back, I watched your back. That's what I try to instill today to some of these, when we talk to groups. Get that tight group. You're for me, I'm for you. And it helped. You know, you couldn't have guys that were scared or wanted to run. You know, but we had, like I say, I was a minority, but we had that. We call it tight, very tight group, and that's what I think was important to me. You know, certainly. If you want to get down to brass tacks, I guess it kept me alive. You know, I never had to worry about anything going on over there. Somebody had it. Same if something was going on over here. And when those things happen, you're basically not thinking anyway. You're just, because I told you, a lot of things happen at night. And, you know, it's the next day when our job was, if you get hit like that Currahee, and you have to go out and police the bodies up and see what kind of damage you did. And that's not, you don't do a song and dance over that, but I never felt one bit of remorse. None. It's simply, that guy's trying to kill you, so I don't go home in a box. And that's how, unfortunately, that's what conflicts in war is. That's going to happen. You know, it's happening today. You know, unfortunately, people are going to pay the price, but.
The hardest thing I had happen to me in the ammunition room, there was 2 of us working down there. I ran the elevator and I helped with the bombs, picking them up. But I had one other. It's tight quarters down there too. So you can't have too many people down there and plus it's so hot and sticky. Something broke on the chain fall, and a bomb rolled on top of another stack of bombs, 500-pound bomb, and it caught G.R. Peterson. His arm was pinned with a 500-pound bomb on top of him. And he was yelling for help, and I got down to help him, and I picked up the 500-pound bomb, just the front part, and got his arm out, and he had a broken arm, and he was bleeding bad. And I got him up, I picked him up, we walked to the elevator. I says, take your other hand, put your hand over your arm, the blood is squirting out of his arm. And I told him to sit down in the elevator, I'll get you up to the mess hall. And the mess hall we're in the back of the mess hall, and the hospital is the next, like 4 steps more. And we went up, and now I ran the elevator up to the mess deck, and then I went up the ladder myself to open the hatch to get Peterson out of the elevator, and then I got him up to the hospital. And 2 days later, he was in a cast and they flew him off the ship. And Vietnam was over for him, because you can't be on an aircraft carrier if you can't climb up and down ladders and stairs with a broken arm. And it takes a long time to heal it up. So he was sent home, and I never heard from him again.